Welcome to Dance with Oleg app. Today we will do a little bit arm styling technique, arm styling secrets. So first, number one, what we have to understand about arms, that the most beautiful arms, they will be when we create a circular motions. So first, let's put our legs together and try to create a circle in your arms. So if I straighten my arms, you see the shape is very uh, angular and my hands are parallel. If I bend my arms too much, so you see it's too much sharp angle. So we try using our joints, curving in a way we can create a beautiful circle. So if you can see here, I created a circle. And you can look in the mirror, see this circle, is it too long or it's too sharp? Ideally, you want to have a most beautiful perfect circle. Now with your fingers is very also, and wrist, very important to smooth that line. So you don't have your wrist this way or this way. So it has a smooth line which continues through the beautiful circle. So this will be position number one, the same as you study ballet. The number two, what you would like to learn about your arms, you want to lift that circle in a horizontal dimension here. And as you're lifting your circle, you try to maintain it as you got it here. That will teach you to create a beautiful shapes with your arms. The next level, you're gonna lift your arms up, and in this position, you try to create again circular motion as much as you can, as beautiful circle as you can. So don't straight your arm this way or don't have it too sharp. So try to look in the mirror and smooth out the line. Now from here, let's do it again. From your low position, position number one, horizontal position number two, and your above your head position number three. Now from here, you see I have a beautiful circle. Try to open that circle, but in a way you make it bigger, like you're reaching up, like you create even bigger circle, and through that bigger circle your arms getting into this horizontal position. From here you turn your wrists only. Now focus on your elbow motion. Elbow, relax your elbow, then the wrist will react, then the fingers. Elbow, wrist, fingers. So notice elbow, then wrist, then fingers in very continuous, like a chain motion way, like you're almost like a bird. Elbow, wrist, fingers, and reconnect it here. So let's do it again. From that circle here, we go to horizontal, we're going above our head, we're doing very big circle here, turn your wrist, and from here, elbow, wrist, fingers. One more time. So this is circular motion. Later, we will do a drills in our drill section where you can actually do it for quite a while. Okay, once we're done with the circle, we can do exactly the same, but the opposite way. So we're gonna open our arms, connect them into the circle, bring them down here. Open our arms, connect them into circle, and bring them down here. So now once we understand that we have a certain circular motion, I want you to focus on this moment where we were doing elbow, wrist, and finger connection. So in order to take your arm down and have a very continuous, beautiful, flowy movement, we're going to use our joint in specific order. So in this case, we use your elbow first, then the wrist, then the fingers follow. Now, if you would like to open your arm, we're going to do same way. Elbow, wrist, then fingers. Now, if you want to take it down, elbow, wrist, fingers. Elbow, wrist, fingers, elbow, wrist, fingers. So in order to have a very beautiful continuous movement, it's strongly recommended to use elbows. Why? Because if you start your motion with the elbow, the wrist will follow. So the movement look like the flower which is blooming gradually, not right away. So you don't want to be right away. So in dancing, we use a lot of continuous motion and have a continuous motion in your body which continues through the arm into fingertips. So this will be the most easy, the most fundamental idea how to do it. Elbow, wrist, then fingers. Let's try exactly the same on the other hand. Elbow, wrist, then fingers. And the same as we're taking down, elbow, wrist, fingers. Now, also we can introduce a little bit rotation in your arm to make movement even more beautiful. So take your arms out and just try to rotate them this way. Out, in, out, in. So as we take our arm out, elbow, wrist, fingers. Now, as we collect our arm, we're using our elbow, and then from here we can rotate our arm and use your elbow to pull your wrist into you. So in this case, we have a little bit more beautiful three-dimensional movement. So we introduce a little bit rotation of the elbow, which brings our wrists and our fingers towards our body. Elbow, wrist, fingers, elbow, wrist, fingers with a little bit rotation. That's the difference, right? And we can combine two arms. So when you combine two arms, that's the fundamental. As one arm opening and other arm, same time, simultaneously closing. In this case, you're going to have quite coordinated and beautiful movement. Now, I do not recommend to only focus on the arms. Arms should be very much continuation of your leg action, hip action, body action, and then finishing into arm. But this is only section about arms, so we can just really talk and explore arm styling. Okay, and as you opening your arm, remember our circles. So it's quite recommended to have a beautiful circular shape on the way out when the arm opening. Because remember, we're going to have a lot of circles. Everything starts with these little positions. So then we're going to use this as our fundamental, our starting point to develop our beautiful motions. Okay, so we learn how to open the arm, we learn how to close arm. Now, as we are opening arm, we are focusing on mainly 3 points, our elbow, wrist, and fingers. Now, let's try to add extra point, a little bit shoulder. So we never want to leave the shoulder out, but the shoulder can start, like this part, can start the elbow. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. And the same here, when we connect arm, we're going to focus on the shoulder getting inside your body, then the elbow, then the wrist. Shoulder, but we'll never take it out. It's just slight movement out. Elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist. So more joints we use, more we have a small chains, more continuous movement will appear. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, like it's getting inside elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist. And in this exercise, we try to keep our fingers smooth. There is a little bit different, could be options for that, but for now, let's keep fingers very relaxed and smooth as a continuous continuity of our arm style. Now, the same on the other hand. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Now, to take it to the next level, we will try to use the opposite side compression to start your working side. So if this is my left side and this is my right side, I start my compression towards my standing leg. So use my left shoulder, so shoulder compression, hip, leg, and now focus on that foot, my left foot. Push from that left foot as I transfer weight. That's activate my arm on the other side. So my standing side activate my opening side or my working side. So that's, in this case, your movement will look the most organic, the most beautiful. So if you use the opposite side to create that arm motion, and on this working side, you already know that we have a shoulder, elbow, wrist order, but it starts from the opposite side. That's of course on very high level. How to start on opposite side? So you use your shoulder compressing towards your hip, using your leg and using the pressure to that foot. So in a way, that foot, as a result of this compression, will activate that arm. And then when you're opening your arm, you still feel connection to that leg as the arm drifts away. So you feel that this leg, in a way, connecting you to this arm. And the same on the opposite side. So using this leg, my standing leg, as I compress, as I rotate, as I push from this foot to activate my shoulder, elbow, wrist. opposite side, control the arm. So you can see the arms, it's not the only arm, so it's a lot of connection to the action. So therefore, the lessons before where we work on rumble walk or work on our fundamental body actions is extremely important to make our arms even more beautiful. Now, whatever you do arm, you always want to feel like you have a pressure to the opposite, the free leg, which support that motion. So you don't want to be only working with arms or only the body and arms. You want to use entire body through the floor, through the whole body, and then end up into the arm. Then look the most continuous. Okay, so the another thing for the styling we can use, as we finish our arm, we can have our fingers in very strong finished way, like this. So if we create the shape, our thumbs and our middle fingers, and we stretch our fingers as much as we can. And then as we open, we just always keep them very continuous. So like when you just start dancing, this is very good idea to have a tension and open fingers like that, because it's give you sensation of having a tone and also complete picture in your body. So this will be very good. But nevertheless, how your fingers at the end finishing the movement, you still have to use opposite side. You still have to use shoulder, elbow, wrist in order to produce a beautiful movement. So this is just like opening and closing arm. Now let's see what dimensions of, or what the trajectory of our arm can move. So we already know that it can move side open and it can close. Now let's explore circular motions, which we can do. For example, number one would be, it's a full body circle here. If we're gonna drive our arm through full body, in a way, from here, using the side of your arm through the middle of your body, here, in a way, you showing yourself and you're drawing a beautiful circle throughout the body. Now here it could be different. Here our arm can go behind our head and get back to the middle, or we can create a window to continue that beautiful circle. Now remember, in this case, we still have to use our legs to reach to the maximum point to create that arm from the body, from the floor, not just doing the circles. Okay, so always use the pressure from the floor. Circle, circle. So this is a vertical circle. Let's do it on the other arm, and this can be done through the window position this way, or it can be done through the back of the head like a snake position. Okay, the next one is a horizontal circle. So imagine like you have a big round table and you're gonna take your elbow behind you and you draw with your wrist as big as possible circle, and then from here use your elbow, wrist to curve in and start over. Big, big, big circle, elbow, wrist to start over. So this is a horizontal circle. Horizontal circle. Using the very big horizontal circle. And in this horizontal circle, it's important that the arm goes behind your body. Behind your body, you draw beautiful circles through the side, forward, and only when your arm in front, you use your elbow to collect your wrist to do a little bit curly motion at the end. Excuse me. Horizontal. You can try it with the two arms. And always when you do arms, some small figure eight movement will be very, very good. So it's not just the arms. So we always try to produce some body movement in ourselves. Okay, so this is just introductory to the arm styling. It's going to be much more videos.